Blair here from Bee Bear's Hair on Instagram, and I am here today to talk about this beautiful wig that I'm wearing from Dimples Hair. Now, they do have a US version of the website and a UK version in case you're from across the pond. And if you like what you see by the end of this video, I got you, because I have a 10% discount code that you can go ahead and use on either version of the website. So if you like what you see, or you want to try out any of the other Dimples products that they have on their website, like hair care, then you can get a good discount. But before we get into that, I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. So if you don't come from my Instagram, you've probably never seen my face in your entire life. So here it is. But I wanted to just give you a little backstory on my hair loss journey, and then we'll get into talking about this beauty. So I have been dealing with hair loss since I was 19. Unfortunately, there wasn't exactly any one trigger that I can pinpoint that started my hair thinning. But I was really young when it started. It was extremely devastating, and since then my hair has progressively thinned over the years, and actually thinned significantly more within the past year. Again, no specific trigger that I've dealt with. I'm healthy. I am huge on telling people always take advantage of preventative care. If you feel like there's anything amiss with your body, you know best for yourself, so always go ahead and get that checked. And that's exactly what I did. We didn't find anything, which was great. I'm so glad that I'm healthy. But it just seems like I got dealt the best hand of genetics, because through this journey, my mom and I have discussed a lot of our family history, and about maybe 80% of the women on my mom's side of the family have dealt with hair loss at different stages in their life, and different types of alopecia actually as well. So more than likely, this is just some good old genetics at play here, but for me that's okay. I've dealt with hair loss so long, almost a decade at this point, and I've learned to accept that, and I've gotten into the world of alternative hair wigs and toppers. This one here is a wig though, which I absolutely love, because like I mentioned, my hair loss has progressed a lot within this past year, so sometimes clipping in a topper or putting in a comb can be a little bit hard on my head. I have a very sensitive scalp, and because my hair has also significantly thinned, especially here in the front crown area, it's really hard to secure a topper there. And there are days where I would wear a topper and it would just slip back because it had nothing to grip on, which was a little bit embarrassing and scary, but you know, nothing I can't handle. So now we're venturing into the world of wigs, and Dimples kindly gifted me this piece, and I of course had to say yes, because have you seen their website? Their pieces are nice. But I did want to do an honest review for you all today. So I actually, in preparation for this, when I first got the wig, I wore it a full week, and I'm telling you, when I say a full week, I mean from sun up to sundown. I was wearing this wig, depending on if it was a work day or not. I was wearing this wig anywhere between 16 to 20 hours a day. Now let me tell you, this wig is so comfortable that by the end of the day, I didn't even want to take it off. I would get in the shower and I would put a shower cap on, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm wearing a wig. What am I doing? But that is seriously how comfortable this wig is. And I don't say that lightly at all. Most of the time, if I go to work in a wig and I come home, I rip that thing off as soon as I walk in the house. Like, sometimes wigs can be a little bit, you know, a little bit much. I live in Texas, so again, if you're not from my Instagram, I'll throw in some details here for you. But I'm from Texas. The heat easily reaches over 100 degrees Fahrenheit on a daily. We get maybe 1 month of cold weather if we're lucky, and that's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which I hear from most of you that's not cold. So I live in 100+ degree weather pretty much most of the year, and this hairpiece is so light, I forget that I'm wearing it when I'm out. I don't want to take it off when I get home. It's just a piece that you can easily wear all day because of the cap construction, and I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. The cap construction is so thin that even with my bio hair under here and tucked in or down, which it's down right now in under this wig, it's just still so comfortable, so snug, so breathable because of the type of netting and the hand tied back portion of this wig, which it's just an amazing wig. Next thing I want to talk about right now is the hair specifics. So this wig is in the color Espresso 2N from Dimples, and that is the darkest color they actually carry. So it's really important to me to find a company that carries a solid color piece that is a pretty good match to my bio hair. So my hair is under here. To a pretty good match. Honestly, if you were to see my side forehead hair here or my temple hair, you wouldn't know the difference. So that's something that's super important to me. The next thing that's really important to me when purchasing from a company is that they either have the ability to stock pieces that will fit somebody with a 20.5-inch circumference like myself, or that is willing to order the piece or make it, whatever that is. Not a lot of companies are willing to do that, but Dimples does stock a small version of this wig, which does fit 21 inches, and it has adjustable straps in the back, so that gives it extra security. Plus, I just always wear a wig grip with my wigs as well, which I'll show you a bit later in the video. But this is in the darkest color that they have. I'm wearing a small right now. I have my computer here so I can give you more details. So this is a hand-tied wig. First off, it gives you so much movement. See that? So much movement. You can pin this back, put it up, and it's not going to give you as much trouble as like a typical silk top or a machine wefted type of wig. So that's super amazing about this. It's also a Swiss lace front, which, as you can see here, if you look very closely, you can see that, and I think it blends pretty well. I mean, unless I lift it, you probably wouldn't have seen where that was. And this one is called the Hera 19, so it is 19 inches from crown. If you measure from crown all the way to tips, and I just measured it right now to be sure for you all. But it also does have different measurements. So the front is 13 inches, the sides are 13, and the back and the nape are also 13 inches as well. What I like about this wig and being made the way it is it kind of already gives you some framing here and some layers. As you can see, there's shorter pieces on this hair. So for me, I have two local stylists that are very good at what they do. They're always booked, and they know about alternative hair and know how to cut it. I don't trust just anybody with my alternative hair, because once it's cut, it's cut. That's it. And it's very difficult to get an appointment with them, and I don't want to get a piece and then have to wait months, I'm not even exaggerating, to get an appointment with them. I want to be able to wear the piece already as is, you know. So whether the company does a cut on their own, they always do face framing, or just like this, the way this piece is created on its own, Dimples doesn't do any cutting to it. It's wearable. It's honestly wearable. So I really like the way this piece was created because of that. All I did was I just styled it. I took it out of the box, it comes out straight, and then I just added some waves to it, combed them out a little bit because I don't like very tight curls, and that's it. So now that I've talked about some specifics of the wig, I'm going to go ahead and take it off so you can see my bio hair in all of its beauty, but so we can also show you the inside of the wig. So, here we go. Here's my wig grip that I of course wear. I do like to wear my hair down under the wig, and I will tell you why. It's because of this cap construction. So like I've mentioned already before, I do wear wigs already, and in a typical wig that is machine wefted, it's pretty snug against my head to where if I put my hair in a bun or a braid and pin it back, it's going to keep that hair flat against my head all day. This piece, being created the way it was created with this very nice thin cap, does not keep the head flat against my head the whole day. I felt like it kind of just bunched up, so as you can see, it probably looks like I have a pretty decent amount of hair. I mean, if I were to bun it up, I'd have a cute little bun there, but my hair thinning centers here. So as you can see, it would be pretty difficult and painful to put a comb through there and clips through here where I have thinned so much. So that's why I'm venturing into the world of wigs now. But I was finding it very difficult to wear the hair inside the wig because the cap is a bit more flexible, being a hand-tied wig. My hair would just slip out of its bobby pins or just end up being on the top here in a bun, just down on the nape of my neck by the end of the day or after a few hours, and then I've just had this like slight bulging section of the wig that I could tell. I'm sure other people would just be like, oh, her hair has volume, but I knew that it was my hair and it bothered me. But the hair is a pretty good match to mine. Like, this Hera is just gorgeous. This espresso color is a great match. And so I can just wear the hair down. If I were to have styled it better, it would have looked a little bit better with this if I would have just done the waves the same. But I do wear it down just with the grip holding the hair back. But anyway, now to get into the specifics. This is what the part line looks like. You can kind of see my finger through there. Fear not, you will not see your hair. If you have hair like myself, you will not see it through the wig. And then in the front, we have this Swiss lace, like I had talked about earlier. And it's kind of like in a scalloped type of shape. I like this because I get really anxious cutting lace on a wig. I have messed it up a little bit before, and it's scary because once you cut the lace and that's it. So this is the lace for this wig. No need to cut anything. And it lays pretty flat against your head. So if you have hair like mine, of course, you're going to want to make sure everything's completely back, right? And the lace is only forehead to forehead. So this really works out for me because I do still have some forehead hair here, a little bit of temple hair. And when I have lace, I always have to just cut off all the lace because I have hair still under the wig. No need to do that here because it stops at the temple. And then under here you have the mono top section. This is the movable section of hair that you have. So you have this whole section to move around the part line. Mine's right here, so it's almost to the end. So it's a pretty decent section for you to move over if you have a very deep part like myself. Then here are the ear tabs as well. There is a tiny piece of wire in there that you can kind of move around and bend. I don't need it though. It stays about right here and I'm fine with that. I don't feel like it needs to be moved or anything. And then this bottom section here is where you can really see everything that's hand tied. Kind of looks like a net almost. It's a good density though, so you're not going to be able to see that. Trust me, I have pinned the hair back before, you know, in a half up with the clip, and you don't see any of that section where it looks kind of like a net. And here's the hair all the way back here. Do you see how cute that is? That looks like layering. I seriously would never be able to articulate this to a stylist if I wanted it. And then inside here on the bottom at the nape of the neck, there are these adjustable Velcro straps. Like I said, my head is 20.5 inch circumference. This is the 21-inch wig. I just wear mine all the way tight with the wig grip. But I had to put my wig grip back on under the wig so that way it would stay in place because again, my head is small. But if you do not have hair under this wig, that is still fine as well. So if you wanted to put it back and you're worried, you know, that there's really nothing much here, you can always pull a little bit of hair out and either just leave it out if you're doing a half up, half down, or you can always cut a little bit into it like baby hairs like I did. I kind of cut a tiny section on here on each side of the wig just to go ahead and leave out when I do pin it back, so it kind of looks cute too. And every time I do it, I also swoop it pretty low at my ears, so even if I didn't have bio hair, there wouldn't be an issue. You wouldn't even be able to tell at all, and it still looks really cute. I mean, this hair has so much great movement, you could probably even completely cover up the part line by pushing all the hair back and it would still look really cute. So there's just a lot that you can really do with this wig. I personally don't like wearing my hair up very often anyway, but I do like doing the whole half up, half down, and it's still super cute and stays super well and looks nice. So that's always an option. One thing I'm going to tell you right now is do not have the expectation that the wig is going to look perfect out of the box. And I know that sounds crazy. You just want to get a wig and plop it on your head. This is not the case for this wig. This wig that I'm wearing right now, I have styled it. I have styled the wig. I have changed the part line. When you first get this wig, it does not look like it has a defined. It does not look like it has a defined part line like this. So when I got this wig, it had this weird crisscrossy thing that you couldn't even see a part line on this wig at all. It looked a little bit scary and intimidating to me, but having already worn wigs in the past and worn toppers, I knew that not everything's going to be perfect out of the box. So I actually made a reel on my Instagram, which I'll also link below, showing how to move a part on a hair piece. Now, Dimples pieces do have a movable section, so I believe it's from here, I can feel it, to here, that you can move this around. So if you can kind of see here, it should look like skin there. You can move this around. This is a bi-directional parting, so it comes with this weird zigzag in the middle of the wig. I don't wear a middle part. I look absolutely ridiculous in a middle part, let me tell you. So automatically I knew I had to move it. All it took was a little bit of water, a rat tail comb, and a blow dryer. That's it. Easy, easy, easy. All you need is a few items. It literally took me 30 seconds to do it during my reel. So again, I'll post that below. But it's so easy to move the part line. It's not at all intimidating. All you have to do is find what works best for you. And for me, mine's a very deep... I can't talk today. Mine is a very deep left part that I have over here. So I move the part around several times. Every time I get a piece, I tend to move the part around a lot because I'll move it slightly over, and then as I'm wearing it, it'll continue to slightly move over until I feel that it works best for me. It gives me the most volume on this side. You know, it has that level of flatness that I like on the opposite side. So there's a lot for me that goes into moving the part because I'll do it for multiple days until I'm comfortable with where it's at. Now, that's the first thing. It's not going to look right out of the box, and that's okay because, again, it's something as simple as moving the part over and fixing it the way you like. So please do not get the piece and look at it and think, what is this? Just move the part. It's okay. It's easy. It's not that scary. And once you do, it'll start looking like an actual scalp here. The next thing that I did after wearing this wig for about a week, I still felt like it had a lot of volume, which that is nice and that is all great. But sometimes when you have alopecia and your hair is thin, it can be a little bit difficult to see yourself with more hair. And for me, having so much volume and this hair, it's also hand tied, so it flows and moves better, was so scary for me. So I figured I wanted my part a little bit more defined, and this is where I'm going to talk about plucking. So Dimples, if you see this, I'm sorry. I know these pieces are individually hand tied on here, but I had to do something. So for me, with this hair piece, it is a monotop. So if you have experience with hair, monotops typically are more jam-packed with hair. That's the best way I can describe it. They're usually thicker in the part area, thicker on the top area, and sometimes it can be difficult to see a defined part. So for me, I want somebody to be looking at me and see what looks like skin. Now, when I first got this wig, it was a bit more dense here that I felt like looking at myself in the mirror, in a video, you couldn't really see the part. So what I did is I ever so slowly on a mannequin head grabbed 2 or 3 hairs at a time and I gently pulled them out. I did not make a video on this because I'm not encouraging you to pluck your wigs because again, this is hand tied and you can potentially ruin your wig as well. But for me, I wanted the part line to be a bit more defined, and I personally have plucked a mono part before, or mono top before, and so I knew that I could do it gently where I wouldn't mess anything up. So for me, I did pluck a little bit, and again, I did 2 or 3 hairs at a time. So while I was plucking, I was doing it on a mannequin. I would pluck 2 or 3 hairs, step back, take a look at it, then again go in, see where else I felt like I needed to kind of thicken up the part. If you choose to do this, make sure the part is where you want it to be and that you're just not going to move it again. Because if you're the type who one day you have a left part, one day you want a right part, one day you want a middle, don't pluck it. Just don't pluck it. Put some powder in the middle to define it a bit more, but do not pluck the part. And I'm saying that because if you're plucking it and then you're moving hair over, you're going to have sections where there should be more hair or where you're just going to eventually mess up the rest of the wig, and you don't want to do that. But if you're like myself, I never move the part to the opposite way or back to the middle. For the most part, once I get it right where I know I want it all the time, I'm going to leave it there. I'm hardly ever going to move it anymore. When I wash it, I make sure it stays in place. Then for me, it worked for me to pluck it. So and that's just something to think about again with the part. It has a lot of great density though. I mean, honestly, I think this looks really natural. It's just one of the bothers for me is a part line. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a personal preference, honestly. Just honestly so much to discuss with this wig. I'm still trying to figure out things to talk about, but again, on my Instagram you can see a highlight for that. I've talked about the hair. One other thing that is on my highlight as well is this hair is styled. So when this hair came, it was the softest, most butteriest hair I've ever touched out of a box before. It's just that soft, and even now just running my fingers through it, it hardly even tangles. Like, my fingers will just run straight through it. And I've taken this piece off, I've flipped it upside down, I've done all these things to it in this video, and it's still not tangled. So this is such a soft piece out of the box, and it comes straight, so I did style it myself, and I have already washed it as well because Dimples does state that the hair dries in a beach wave, and I wanted to see what that looked like. I personally have been really wanting a curly piece, and so I thought this was just perfect for me. So all I did was I washed the hair like I normally wash a piece, and I actually used, pull these out, I actually used the conditioner and shampoo that Dimples also sent to me, so thank you, Dimples. They smell super great. The hair, actually, I washed it 3 weeks ago or so, and it still smells like the conditioner. So these pieces, this shampoo and conditioner I've actually been using on my own bio hair, as well as the wig, and these give hair volume. It hydrates the hair, it moisturizes the hair. It's good for dry hair, curly hair, wavy hair, color treated hair, all of that great stuff. It reduces frizz as well, which in a curly hair piece, you want to make sure that you're using products also that work for curly hair. So I like that Dimples did send me those products, and I'll definitely be investing in them on my own once I run out, because I like it for my own hair personally too. But with that, once I conditioned it and I shampooed it, I dried it, I kind of did the scrunching method to the hair while it was kind of drying a little bit, and then I just left it. The next day I kind of just combed my fingers through it to kind of loosen the curls a little bit, and I think they dried super cute. And kind of just think of a way, like if you were to braid your hair overnight and leave it damp and wet, and then you take it out in the morning, it's going to look like this cute little waves on it. So I like the way it dries texture wise, but I also did go ahead and straighten it and then put in waves again, because I wanted to see if the hair would still hold a different type of style, because sometimes with curly pieces it can be hit or miss. They might just only keep that texture and it won't look sleek still in a different type of style or different type of pattern that's not its natural curl pattern. But this one, I see absolutely no issues with it. I did straighten it first and then recurled it, and then I also did part of the hair where I didn't straighten it and I still recurled it, and it still held the curl just as great, and it still took to the heat just as great. So if you want a curly piece, this is definitely for you. If you don't mind, sometimes you want it curly, sometimes you want to style it, this is still a great piece for you because it holds up so well. I think the last time I put these waves into it was about 2 weeks ago, and I've still been wearing this piece often because, again, Texas heat is awful, and I still wanted to make sure I could give you all a great review. But that's about it. That's all there is to it. If you have any other questions, you can visit my Instagram for my Dimples highlight. You can DM me. I'm always available there. You can comment below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as well. But that's all there is to it. Definitely go check out my Instagram page. I like to share about my hair loss journey in a fun, to share common experiences, and I like to talk about the hair that I also wear and help educate others and just give you some tips and tricks, and hopefully you can find the piece that's best for you.